and he's not going to look like a lightweight going up to a welterweight. He's going to look like a solid welterweight in a title fight. But it's going to come down to his ability to get takedowns and hold JDM down. If JDM can get back up over and over and scramble, I think he's going to give Islam a lot of problems with the exchanges of boxing.
You know, this is one of the maybe hardest fight for me because he's big, he's good everywhere. Maybe he don't have good wrestling defense, but his grappling is good. He defends, he get up from the grappling very, very well, you know.
A better finisher than Bilal. He's definitely more of a finisher, more finishes. I think in more of aggressive style, so definitely a harder fight, 100%.
A storm's brewing before UFC 322, and Khamzat Chimaev just threw gasoline on the fire with a bold prediction for Islam Makhachev versus Della Maddalena. In a recent social post, Khamzat kept it brutally real, showing respect to both fighters, believing no doubt about his pick. He admitted both men are elite, but believes Islam's wrestling will be the difference maker. The Chechen powerhouse said he's curious about Islam moving up in weight, but fully expects the champ's relentless grappling to tip the fight in his favor.
Coaches 55%, Maddalena 45 Islam, but I think Islam, see, both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do, but I think Islam will be more, he gonna use his wrestling more.
Meanwhile, Dustin Poirier also chimed in, sharing genuine excitement for this matchup and respect for both warriors. He said each man brings a completely different skill set to the cage, which makes this fight so fascinating. Poirier suggested that if Jack can keep it standing and push the pace, he could cause serious problems. Still, he warned that moving up in weight is no joke, but called Islam an elite athlete with the IQ and discipline to handle it. Dustin even asked fans directly, can Islam really become a two-division champ?
Yes, Dustin, what are your thoughts on that fight and Islam Makhachev's chances to become a two-division champion?
I'm excited for him. You know, he's made history. He's trying to continue making history. I'm going to be there in attendance with Bud Light for that event at Madison Square Garden. So excited to see that one in person. But to pick a fighter in this one, I think both guys are great at certain things. It's going to all come down to the takedown defense of JDM. If he can get back up to his feet, if he can use the fence or stay off the fence, use his boxing, I think he definitely could give Islam a lot of troubles in the center of the octagon. You know, he's a great striker. He's big and powerful. But a lot of times we think of a lightweight going up to welterweight. It's a 15-pound weight difference, but Islam is not a small man. He's not short.
Poirier doubled down, saying Islam knows exactly how to adjust no matter the division. He believes Makhachev's frame and strength will give him a built-in advantage, even against natural welterweights. According to Dustin, Islam won't look undersized or outmatched. He'll show up as a solid welterweight ready for war. Poirier added that if Islam gets those takedowns and controls Jack on the mat, he's got a clear path to victory. But if JDM stuffs the shots and keeps it standing, things could get very dangerous for the champ.
Maybe 5'11", and he's big. You know, he's a big guy. It's not like he's having to put on years of muscle to make this leap to the next weight class. He's a guy who's been holding his body back from naturally being bigger like it wants to be so he can compete at a lightweight division. He's going to fill into this weight class, and he's not going to look like a lightweight going up to a welterweight. He's going to look like a solid welterweight in a title fight. But it's going to come down to his ability to get takedowns and hold JDM down. If JDM can get back up over and over and scramble, I think he's going to give Islam a lot of problems with the exchanges of boxing.
Islam, on the other hand, isn't backing down. In a recent interview, he addressed the challenge head-on, acknowledging Jack's strong takedown defense and sharp striking. Makhachev admitted JDM's power and size are factors he can't overlook, but said he's ready for every scenario. Calm yet confident, Islam promised he'll wrestle, strike, and grind for as long as it takes. Whatever the fight demands, he'll keep pushing until his hand is raised.
You know, this is one of the maybe hardest fight for me because he's big, he's good everywhere. Maybe he don't have good wrestling defense, but his grappling is good. He defends, he get up from the grappling very, very well, you know. That's why I'm preparing myself for anything. I can strike with him, I can wrestling with him, grappling with him, but I know he also training hard for me because his last opponent, Bilal, we have like not same style, but Bilal also tried to wrestling, but he defends his wrestling very well. That's why I have to be ready. If he stop my wrestling, I'm gonna try again. If not happen, I will strike with him.
Then there's Michael Chandler, one of the most explosive fighters in UFC history, who sees things differently. Chandler said this fight isn't just about skill, it's a test of raw power. While Islam's technique and control are world-class, Jack brings something terrifying, knockout-level striking. Chandler called JDM a simple but deadly fighter. No fancy setups, just pure precision and danger. And that, he warned, is what makes Jack so unpredictable at welterweight.
Puzzle, man. He's pretty basic, but he is brilliant and violent and devastating with the basics, man. A little bit of range, a little bit of reach on Islam, and I won't even sit there and say, because Islam's a different breed, man. I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, he's a 155er, so he's not used to going with 170 pounders. I would not be surprised if Islam, his entire career, has been sparring with 55, 70, 185, and 205ers, because the dude's kind of a...
Chandler believes Islam can handle the size easily. After all, he's trained with heavier guys before. But that's not the real issue. The real question, Chandler said, is how Islam reacts when he eats a clean shot from a true welterweight hitter. He expects Makhachev to take some heavy shots during the fight. Maybe not early, but eventually. And when that happens, Chandler believes that's when we'll find out what Islam is truly made of.
I don't think strength or size is going to be the problem. It's really going to be the dichotomy between JDM's great striking abilities and is his takedown defense enough to stop the onslaught of wrestling that Islam's going to bring. Because I do think, even the stand-up battle against Poirier does hit hard, because I've witnessed that and felt it firsthand. But there's no way he hits as hard as JDM. So I think it'll be interesting, man. I think Islam's going to get tagged up a couple times, and we're going to see.
When that moment comes, Chandler predicts Islam will turn to his wrestling. But can he survive long enough on the feet to get there? That's the million-dollar question. Chandler slightly favors JDM, not because Islam lacks skill, but because Jack's power and precision could change everything in an instant. He called Jack a monster, adding that even if Makhachev wins, it won't be an easy night.
To that wrestling pretty quick, but I think JDM's a monster, man. I think I give JDM the slight favor, or the slight nod in that one. But I would not be surprised if Islam is holding the belt, and then now you got a whole nother conundrum where you got Ilya and him wanting the super fight and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens, man.
On the other side, Jack Della Maddalena isn't taking Islam lightly. He's well aware that Makhachev is one of the most complete fighters in the game. Jack admitted this will be the toughest fight of his career, one that'll push him mentally and physically to his limits. But he's embracing the challenge head on, ready to prove he belongs at the elite level.
I mean, I don't really listen to too much of what Bilal says, to be honest. But yeah, of course, Islam's a better finisher than Bilal. He's definitely more of a finisher, more finishes. I think in more of aggressive style, so definitely a harder fight, 100%.
Jack praised Islam, calling him one of the most well-rounded martial artists in the sport. He said Islam's striking is underrated, dangerous with punches, elbows, and kicks. But Jack sees one area where he holds the edge, keeping the fight on the feet. That's where he plans to test Islam's striking and see if the lightweight king can hang with a true welterweight sniper.
I don't really listen to too much of what Bilal says, to be honest. But yeah, of course, Islam's a better finisher than Bilal. He's definitely more of a finisher, more finishes. I think in more of aggressive style, so definitely a harder fight, 100%.
But the analysis doesn't stop there. Former UFC fighter and analyst Kenny Florian weighed in too, saying the pressure in this matchup lands squarely on Islam. As the reigning lightweight champion moving up, all eyes are on him to prove his dominance. Florian said the expectations are massive. Win, carry Dagestan's legacy higher, and show the world he's more than just a lightweight monster.
Extremely interesting. To be that effective against other 170-pounders in practice is one thing. To do it against other guys in a fight is quite another, especially one at the level of a Jack Della Maddalena. Now, it's possible that Islam is just that good of a grappler, And of course, we can't ignore his very good striking. This is a potent striker as well. He can hurt you. He's got some power. We have seen that. But I think, a lot of that is coming because of how dominant he's been in the 155-pound division, a division that many have thought has been the most competitive in the UFC for several years now. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
But that's precisely what makes this matchup so risky.
That's also what makes this fight so dangerous. Florian reminded fans that moving up in weight isn't just sparring with bigger guys. It's 5 rounds under bright lights against a real 170-pound killer. He warned that while Islam dominates at lightweight, welterweight is a whole new battlefield. Facing a natural 170 like Jack requires next-level conditioning, timing, and strength.
Is, the fact that JDM hasn't been champion for very long. If you're going to face someone like JDM, you kind of want to do it right now. So I think that's really interesting. And we're going to find out, man. But I think this is going to be a treat for all the high-level mixed martial arts fans out there.
So you're going to hear a lot of people talk about the layers to Islam Makhachev's grappling game and his wrestling game. And when you look for comps, when you look at Jack Della Maddalena's career, I remember early on in a fighter meeting, in advance of his fight against Ramazan Ameev, he called it the Dagestani wrestler test. And he sort of felt like this is a good time for me to pass the Dagestani wrestler test.
One thing's certain, UFC 322 is shaping up to be an absolute war. Whether it's Islam's ground game or Jack's striking that prevails, fans are in for something special. So stay tuned, because this showdown might just redefine what it means to be great inside the octagon.